Hello and welcome to Pro Advice. Yes, we have a pro here today. Also, we have our life and estate attorney, Mr. McDonald. So, Michael McDonald is the owner of Lifetree Law, and we're going to hear from him about his business, how he helps people. So, welcome to our show. Let's enjoy, let's learn about the secret of estate planning. Estate planning is very important to protect the assets, especially real estate and even other asset also. So let's hear from our attorney, Michael McDonald, about the secrets of estate planning. So, Michael, welcome to the show. Let's talk about who you are, what's your business, and a little bit details about you.
Absolutely, and a good morning to you on this fine Tuesday. Appreciate the invitation. So, yes, I am the attorney and owner of Lifetree Law Estate Planning Services, and I have had the pleasure of being an attorney since about 1996. I did criminal defense trial work for quite a while. But then about 3 years ago, I decided that I wanted to shift to a more positive type of practice of law where I was helping people and I was more a part of my community. So I took a deep dive and did the transition and have just been very happy with this area of law. So I'm a father of 6. I'm a veteran. I like to get out every once in a while and do some running. I'm a big exercise and meditation guy. So that's just a little bit about me. But yes, when I'm talking about the 3 secrets of estate planning, they're just 3 of the top ones that come to mind, because in Florida, there's certain things that are done that make it easy to pass on some of your belongings to your family if you pass away.
So let's do this. Michael, before we dig into the 3 different, secrets of the estate planning, let's talk about like why someone need estate planning. What are the benefits?
Sure. Estate planning is really important because if you don't have an estate plan, then what's going to happen is the state will use its statutes to make your estate plan, which means you will go to probate court. You're going to have to hire an attorney. A personal representative is going to be assigned to your estate, and it may not be the personal representative that you had in mind. So things are going to happen to your estate and your belongings that may be given to people that you don't want. And not only that, it can be very stressful for your family or your beneficiaries because it can take a long time. It can be a drawn out process. It can be complicated dealing with creditors. So you want to protect your assets and you don't want to stress your family out.
Okay, makes sense, definitely. So let's talk about the first one.
Okay, the first one has to do, well, let me give you a quick example though, a quick story. I got a phone call this morning from somebody, and they're not married, but they share properties together. The properties are in their individual names. Some are in LLCs. They have businesses, each one of them. There are children involved. Retirement accounts, but none of them are designated. So, under those circumstances, if anything happens to either one of them, they are going to be going to probate court and probably for quite a while. So the first tip is called POD. It's payment upon death. Now, this term is used primarily with financial institutions, particularly banks. Now, if you have a bank account, you can have a POD, and that POD can be designated for any family member, friend, anybody that you want. It's kind of like a beneficiary, but if you have a POD on an account, then that means that the funds, upon your passing, will be transferred to that person, and it won't have to go into probate court.
Okay, so that's good. So how someone can get is that a part of the life estate, or that's a special documentation they have to do?
Actually, it's a tool that I use. So a lot of people think that when you're talking about estate planning, that you're just talking about documents. And that's just a part of it, because the other part is the advice that an estate planning attorney provides for you. So for a POD, what you can do is you can just go to your banking institution and say, look, I would like to designate a beneficiary or a POD, and they have a form there. So you don't need an attorney to do this, but usually you need an attorney's advice as far as pointing you in that direction.
Yes. Okay, so that's good to know. So this is one of the tool to kind of like protect the asset or make sure the asset doesn't go to somebody else they don't want. So they make sure these are the people they want the asset to go to. So that's very, very good to know. Now, what's the second one?
Now, the second one is called a Ladybird Deed. So if you have a property and you want to pass it on to somebody, what you can do is have a Ladybird Deed. Now, there's another name. It's called an enhanced life estate. And what this is you're giving a future interest to somebody. Now, that future interest can be a person. It can also be a trustee if you have a trust, so that trustee can pass it on to another family member. But a Ladybird Deed is another tool that you don't need to go to probate court. And you don't necessarily even need an attorney, although I would recommend one, because if the deed is not executed properly, then it's going to be invalid. Okay, and but it's much easier to do on the front end, meaning before anything happens to somebody. So a Ladybird looks like this. I give myself an enhanced life estate, meaning I can do anything I want to with my property. I can sell it. I can burn it. I can do anything I want up to and including revoking that Ladybird Deed. Okay, but that's just a life estate. Why I am alive, I get the house and I can do anything that I want with it. But in the Ladybird Deed, I leave it to Shawn. And when I pass away, then my property transfers to Shawn, and you get the property to do it with what you want to. Sell it, live in it, anything else. It doesn't affect homestead. So I get the homestead until I pass away, and then it gets transferred to you. And again, this doesn't have to go through probate court.
Okay, that's good to know. Now on a Ladybird Deed or estate, so the owner still have the full control, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's good to know. So you still have the full control, and the deed or the estate is already written up or filed properly. So if in case anything happens, so that's very, very good. So let's talk about the third one. What's the third one?
Okay, the third one has to do with your retirement accounts. Okay. Now, a lot of times people think that they want to leave their IRA or their 401k to their will or their trust. However, you have beneficiary designations that you can make with your IRA or your 401k. And unless there are special circumstances, I would be sure to make sure that you've identified those beneficiaries, such as your kids. Now, typically the big issue with IRA or retirement accounts is the tax consequence. Because if you give too much money to somebody, then it's going to make their income increase so much that they may be in a higher tax bracket, which can hurt them financially. So instead of leaving that to a trust, you leave it to beneficiaries, but say you have 3 or 4 kids. Well, that's going to be divided up 3 or 4 ways. And depending on the amount of your retirement account, it should not affect their tax bracket. Now, there was a new change in the tax laws in January of last year. And that change is that you have 10 years after somebody passes away, you have 10 years to distribute all of the funds in that retirement account. So you take if it's $100,000, then you divide that by 10. That would be $10,000 a year, and then divide it by the number of beneficiaries that you have. So you don't have to go through a will, you don't have to go through a trust, and you don't have to go through probate court, and you can still pass those funds on to your beneficiaries. So that's 3 ways that you can pass on assets without having to go to court.
Wow. So that's good to know. So all 3 of them is the hassle-free, easily done with your advice or any of the estate attorney's advice. And thanks for those the information. Sometimes we think making an estate will is too difficult. You got to go to the court, you got to spend hours with the attorney, but it's not really. So it's just one phone call, and then you can advise them, and they can hire you with a very, very affordable price. So, Michael, how do somebody can reach out to you? What's the website? What's the phone number?
Sure. I can be reached at www.lifetreelaw.com. I can also be reached by email, and that is Michael at Lifetree Law. Sorry.
.com?
I've done my email so many times this morning. So Michael at lifetreelaw.com.
Okay, so same website, lifetreelaw.com, and then your name at lifetreelaw.com is the email. So that's
yes. I try to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
And also my phone number is 954-661-5203.
954-661-5203. Okay,
Yes.
That's good. So definitely someone can, call you, text you, or go to your website, check some information. You have a lot of information in the website too, and then click the contact button, and then you're going to get an email from them about, and I know you that, for a few years, you are very, very helpful, and I have so many clients reached out to you. You always give them the right advice. That's the best thing, like giving the right advice, not to just, getting somebody's fee or getting somebody's money. So that's what, I really appreciate that you do. You give them the right advice, let them, pick their option, So that's very, very good.
I'm here to help. Also on the website, you can schedule an appointment right on the website. You'll see a small button. So I am always happy to help. That's the most important thing. We all have our problems, but if you love what you do, then you like helping people.
Are you doing a Zoom appointment also, or it will be in person? How does the go?
I do Zoom appointments, and then under certain circumstances, I will actually go to a client's house if I need to do some signing of documents and things like that.
Oh, okay. So again, Michael, great information of 3 secrets of estate planning, and the thing I like it, all of them someone can do very easily. With your guidance a little bit, having an appointment with you. So guys, take advantage of this. Don't wait for the moment come, or protect your asset, your bank, the money you have in the bank, or the property you have, or, he does with, Michael does for everything. So do that, any kind of, whatever estate plan is, like perfect fit for you. Or even you do wills also, don't you, Michael?
I do. Absolutely. I mean, and sometimes you can set up your estate just quickly. Sometimes you can set up your estate so that you keep as much out of probate court as possible. But if you have a will, it's kind of the catch-all. So if something doesn't get passed outside your estate, then the will gives the court directions on how you want those things given out.
Okay, got it. So it's less hassle, for the heirs, So that's definitely good. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for joining in, and thanks for giving all the advices, and thank you always providing the value to the community. So thank you very much, guys. Hopefully this interview going to bring a lot of value to your life. Anytime you can make a comment here, or reach out to me or Michael's website. We just told you, and then I'm going to put a note also. So you're going to have it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next week with another episode of Pro Advice. Take care. Have a great week ahead.